so if you don't have a resistance band at home, you can genuinely get you a big granny basher pants that you save for special occasions, and just step into your pants, and you can use those as a form of resistance, or you don't have to actually use resistance. It's up to you. That's my phone telling me to pay attention because I'm stressed, which always happens when it's hot. So yeah, some kind of resistance against your leg. It is optional, but I do suggest you use it. We've only got a 30-minute workout this month, so it's nice to be able to maximise that 30 minutes. I know I said you don't need any other equipment, and you don't technically need any other equipment. However, I'm going to be using a chair as a bar today. So if you have a chair that you can grab, go and grab one now. Most people should have a chair in the vicinity. I was thinking of any scenario where someone might not, and maybe if you're outside, you won't. But you can do it freestanding, but it'll just require a lot more balance. You can also use a wall. I'll probably better stop using the wall because there are finger marks all over my wall. But you can also just use a wall for just a little bit of balance for when we do our pliés at the start. And then most of the rest of it, and then leaning into the bar. And again, you can just use a wall for that. Okay, so we might as well get going because it is 8:01. I have a house full of very hot, sweaty children. I had kids for a sleepover last night, so everyone is exhausted. So we're just going to start by rolling this neck. So just tucking your chin, taking it to one side. And as always, if you feel any pain, any sharp pain or anything, please stop. Bit of discomfort is fine, and bar, you'll probably get a lot of shakes, a lot of discomfort, but just listen to your body. Take it down a level if you need to, because obviously I can't see to check form. So just rolling this neck in circles. Poor Jeff went back to work today after 2 weeks off. He had to go in at 4. I don't think he slept at all beforehand. He was roaming around, sweating. But he did eat loads of meat before he went to bed, which I told him not to do. I told him he'd get sweaty. One more each side. Okay, and then coming up, bringing the head to the centre, bringing your hands onto your shoulders, relax your shoulders away from your ears, and then just circling these arms. So if you really struggle here to reach your elbows together, just means that you really need to work on your shoulder mobility. In my experience, most people that struggle to reach their elbows together are those that are already doing a lot of exercise and are not focusing on stretching back out and lengthening these muscles. All that will happen there is if your muscles get shorter and tighter, you'll end up injuring yourself. So really work on this one. Change direction, back across the centre. When I first started doing this, my hands were about here, but after doing those yoga stretches, I can reach them much more easily. Okay, you're going to leave one hand on the shoulder, the other hand is just coming up in a nice big circle, rotating through, warming up those shoulders. Good. Okay, then leave that hand, bring it onto the shoulder and pick up the other arm and start rotating that one. 4. Good. And 8. Take one hand up to the top, bring the other hand up to 5th to join it. From here, you're going to hinge out from your hips, flow yourself down to the mat, sweep the floor, lift up and do a full circle at the top. So it's down, lift, up and circle. You're just warming up that spine, lengthening the hamstrings, getting everything moving. Might need to lie down after the warm up. I can't even put my wedding rings on because my hands are so swollen. Let me know in the comments or later on if your body also swells in the heat. Mine's terrible for doing it. Yeah, I've got really stubby little fingers and stubby little toes. I already have quite stubby fingers anyway. They're far worse in the heat. I'll stop moaning about the heat now. I know, it's so nice to have a nice summer. One more. Left. Okay, we're going to come down to the bottom, we're going to hang at the bottom. So really lengthening these hamstrings. Don't worry if you've got a bend in the knees, but you're just pushing your chest back towards your thighs and then just rotating the fingers gently from side to side of the feet. So you can just warm up down on these outer edges. And then bring yourself back to the centre and slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. When you get to the top, you're going to turn your feet out to about 45 degrees. You're going to bring your arms up to shoulder height, palms facing the roof. And then you're going to lift onto your heels and drop down. So taking the arms up overhead as you lift up onto your toes, lifting the heels off the floor. Let's go and open the door. Down, lift, down, lift, down, lift. We've got 4 more of these. Really lift nice and high onto those toes. See if you can balance. 2 and 1. Just hold up. Drop those shoulders down away from your ears. Just visibly drop them even though your arms are up above. Just holding here for 4, 3, 2 and 1. Good. Lower down. Bring the hands down so they're in front of you. Step a foot wider with each foot. Tuck this pelvis under, and then you're going to do a lateral raise. Lift up the arms to the side. Move sideways so I don't hit the chair. Oh, now I'm hitting the Jasmine, which needs some water. Ooh. Down and lift. So focusing here on keeping these shoulders back and open. For 4, 3, 2, hold this one down. Palms to the front, palms to the back. Front, back. So just rotating, really getting these shoulders properly warm. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then you're just going to reach to one side, reach to the other. So just warming up these sides. So we're going to do quite a lot of work with our waists this morning in sculpt. Waists and bums, and legs, and abs, you know, all of it, but particularly waists. Holding for 4, and 3, and 2. Hold this one there, and then just pulse and reach. Making sure you'll remember in the yoga, we were keeping our shoulders nice and open and back. So we're reaching up through this side. 2, 1, other side. Feel that power and burn beginning to happen in those legs. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finishing here in the center, still holding low and just pulsing down slowly. 10, 9, check that these knees are tracking out in line with the toes. Don't let them drop forward because you'll feel it in the knees. I've lost count. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Straighten up. Heel toe it in. Have a little shake. Make sure you've got water on hand with you. And you're going to grab your bands. So remember, if you don't have a band, I sell these really tasteful animal print ones on my website. And they are quite mean. You can get them in medium or hard. They are quite mean, but they're brilliant because they don't snap. Or you can just pick up a latex one very cheaply. I can't say latex without it making me giggle because I've got such a dirty mind. Okay, so we're going to come onto our bars and get straight at it with the work. Remember, just a table ledge, back of sofa, wall, just something to help you balance if you have it to hand. I'm picturing Stacey on holiday in Portugal right now, standing in the middle of a garden with nothing, but you've been doing it for long enough, so you don't need the balance. Okay, so you are going to bring your feet hip distance apart, and they are parallel, so they're facing to the front of the room. You're going to step close if you are using something for a little bit of extra support. You're going to lift up onto your toes, and as you come up, I want you to squeeze these glutes, really engage, right, and you'll feel this engagement happening from the bottom of the calves. We're going to keep these shoulders back as you sink down about 5 inches. So you want to look when you're down at the bottom that your shoulders, hips and heels are all in this lovely line. And you're going to hold here, and all we're going to do is butterfly slowly, and I'll show you what I mean by that. You're going to go out against the band, then draw back to the centre. Out and back. So we're using these inner thighs and back, and out and back. So if you're leaning forward and doing it like this, you're going to be putting pressure on your knees. So really tuck that pelvis, out and back with those knees. So the upper body stays lovely and still. Out and back. Out and back. Out and back. Keep those heels high. You're going to lift up to the top, then you're going to sink down into a plie. Lift and sink. Still working on this line of the shoulders. If you feel it in those knees, check that those shoulders are back. Remember, you have the option that you can always drop the heels or just not plie quite as far down. Down and lift. So we're working these quads as well as those calves. Down and lift. Down and lift. For 4, oh yay, there's a bit of rain. If there's any day where I don't have to water my veg, it's a great day. 2, I'm so lazy. And 1, hold low. You're going to pulse down. 2, so you should already be feeling this. If those legs aren't shaking, sink a little lower. 6, 7, 8, and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold here. You're going to do a pulse, pulse, then just right heel, drop, drop, pulse, pulse, right side, drop, drop, pulse, pulse, I know, I can hear you all swearing at me, pulse, drop, drop, change sides, pulse, pulse, drop, left heel, pulse, pulse, drop, drop, pulse, pulse, drop, drop, last time, pulse, pulse, drop, drop, good. Stand up, give yourself a tiny little shake. This is the thing with sculpt, we do slow it down, it's quite slow move, but it does very effective, it's very effective. Now you're turning your feet out to 45 degrees, okay? First position, but those heels are apart. Tucking your pelvis, now you're going to lift up onto those toes, feel the work that's happening, and actually, now I think about it, bring the feet heels in a little bit closer. If you're wearing a band that's tight enough, you can actually press your heels together for this one, but only if your band's tight enough and doesn't slide down. And then pelvis tuck, coming down and holding. So we're working the inner thighs. Just hold while you listen to what I give you the instructions. Hold at the bottom. If your bottom is tucked, your abs are switched on, we're working our abs, shoulders back, and we're using the strength of the inner thighs to just hold these knees open. So everything is working down in this hold. Then you're going to go down an inch, lift an inch, down, lift. Very small, subtle moves, but seriously good for sculpting and strengthening these legs. Down and lift, down and lift, down and lift. Keep pressing out against that band and lift. For 8, lift. Tiny pulse, lift. My legs are shaking. 6 and 5. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Straighten up, and then you're going to plie nice and low. And lift. Still pressing out. This will feel quite nice. The blood pools on those inner thighs. When you start doing the plies, it starts moving around. And plie. And lift. Keeping those heels high if you can. And lift. Down. And lift. You've got 6 more. Check your form. Check your shoulders are back. Pelvis tucked. It's not a squat. It's a plie. It's more elegant. And lift. Down. And lift. Hold this next one down. If you feel able for the fast pulse, you're going to take one hand overhead. Then you're going to bring the other. You're going to balance. And you're going to pulse. 2, 3, 4. Otherwise, hold on. 6, 7, 8. 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That's halfway. Keep going. 15, 14, 13, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. Here's the killer finish. We're going to go out with both knees. Butterfly, butterfly, drop right heel, butterfly out, right heel, butterfly, butterfly, right heel, butterfly, butterfly, right heel, and butterfly, both sides. Left heel drop, and drop, butterfly, butterfly, drop the left, butterfly, butterfly, left, left, one more, butterfly, butterfly, drop, and drop. Oh, right, you should be shaking, okay? Don't step out of your bands. I'm just going to go and open my window and I will fall flat on my face. Okay, so, just have a little shake, get the blood flowing, have some water. And then we're going to have a little stretch of our calves and our quads. Have some more, oh, I said have some water already, I'm repeating myself. We're going to move into our glutes. Okay, so you're just going to lift one heel up towards your bum. So to start, knees are together at the bottom, drawing that heel in as much as you can. You should feel this nice stretch down the quad. Whew, that is so much better. Little breathe. Okay, and then start pushing your foot back into that hand, letting the leg lead away. And you'll just feel that travelling up the quad and just opening up those shoulders. So our yoga flow next week, we're going to be working on this lovely King Dancer pose, which is one of my favourite yoga poses. So here's a little bit of practice for you. Okay, and then you're just going to take that leg, you're going to release the back leg, you're going to drop it down to the mat, pressing that heel into the mat and leaning forward into your bar. So you feel the back of that calf stretching. So now it's all about the butt and the waist. And then the abs to finish. Okay, stepping in, lifting the other side, drawing that heel up towards the bum. So this one, I'm going to give you the option of the band. So if you're relatively new to it, now push your hand back, open up that shoulder, open up the leg stretch. If you're relatively new, you might want to take the band off and just concentrate on these moves. Or if it gets too intense, just take it off, because it does feel a little bit like someone stabbing you in the thigh, in the outer thigh or the butt cheek. That's normal. Release that back foot and lean in, but just try and hold it as much as you can. And I want you to visualise what's working and happening. I'll talk you through it. But I want you to visualise waist getting smaller and tighter, butts getting nice and firm. Okay, stepping into the butt. So we are going to turn ourselves sideways, so just nice light touch on the wall, table, or you can freestand. I'm just going to rest my forearm on the bar. So we're going to take our outside leg out to the side, so completely parallel. Your inside leg, you're going to turn in slightly towards the bar, and you're going to keep a bend. Don't look out this knee, it makes it worse. Slight bend in that knee. And then I want you to think about height and length drawing up through this upper body. So try and avoid this. This will be the temptation to lean into the bar. Then you're not really working where we're supposed to be working. If you stay nice and upright, to lift, here is where this waist is really working. If you put your fingers here, someone said in my class yesterday, you feel loads of fat. But no, if you put your fingers here, you'll feel the waist working. Okay, so it is just a tap and a lift. Lift, tap, nice and slow. Remember, it's sculpt, so we're not doing the moves fast. Lift and tap. So those that don't have bands, you should be able to get that leg up, not up as high as my hand, but up to parallel is what I'm trying to explain with that move. Lift and tap, lift and tap. For 4 and 3, trying to read how many reps there are. 2, you're going to hold this next one up. You're going to bend and straighten that leg. Bend and straight, bend and straight. So if you're new to these kind of moves, you might feel it across your lower back. That's actually just the muscles there being targeted and waking up for the first time. But you can always take your hand, press it into your lower back and just help nudge it forward. And that should just take a little bit of the pressure off. And straight, bend and straight. Last 2, last 1. Good. From here, you're going to tap, lift, bend, straight. Tap, lift, bend, straight, tap, lift. See, my upper body's not moving at all. It's all coming from my waist and my glutes. Bend and straight. For 4, lift and my waist. Did I say my waist? Yes, I think I did. 3, lift. It's been a long night. Last 2, lift, bend, straight. Last 1, lift, bend and hold. Now we're going to bring this knee down in line with the other knee and then whack it back up. Drop lift, as I call it. Drop lift, drop lift, oh, drop lift, drop lift, drop lift, drop lift, drop lift, drop lift. For 4 and 3, last 2, hold the next one high, pulsing to finish, little pulses. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Ooh, lower down. Okay, bring both feet down, take the hands into the small of your back and just rotate. Circles. And then change the direction. Okay, we'll stretch out the glutes, but not quite yet. Going to do the other side now. Same thing. Literally exactly the same. So thinking about this, drawing up, resting the forearm down, leg out to parallel. Pull these shoulders back and open. Chest out. Okay, lift and tap. Remember, slight turn in of the inside knee, slight bend in that knee. This side's worse because the stabilising glute's already tired after the first bit. Lift and tap, lift and tap. You've got 4 and 3, last 2, last 1, hold it up. You're going to bend and lift. Bend. So remember that I was talking about that feeling like you're being stabbed in the butt? You're probably feeling it now on that inside glute that's staying still. It's normal, in and out, bend and stretch. For 4 and 3, this is my worst side, I always complain on the right side. 2 and 1, put them together, tap, lift, bend, straight. Let's try and get some height on these legs. Bend, straight, particularly if you're not using a band. Lift, bend, straight. Visualize these tiny waists forming and straight. Down, lift, bend, straight, down, lift, bend, straight. Last 2, lift, bend, straight. Last 1, lift, bend and hold. Pull your shoulders back. Use this hand if you need to. You're going to drop, lift. Drop, lift. So the control is this lift back up. Drop, lift. For 8 and 7. Last 6 and 5. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Holding up. Nice and high and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Woo, bring it down. Okay, take these hands, plonk them there in the small of the back and just push those hips into nice rotations. This just gets that blood flowing around again. Okay, change the direction of that circle. So we're going to do a little combination here. Just 2 moves and then combining the 2. And because we are not using dumbbells or anything this month, because some of you have taken me on holiday, I'm very much enjoying my Portuguese holiday. Thanks, Stacey. If anyone else wants to take me on holiday, let me know where we are. We're going to come down onto the mats now, but we are still going to have to work our arms, so we're going to have to do that with our body strength. So, keeping the bands on if you want, but again, remember you can always take them off if it gets too much. Here are your options for press-ups. So press-ups come up from time to time in bar, probably a little more often than people would like. I want you to just look and see the 3 different options. Really pay attention to the different fall. So option number 1 is your box press. So this is if you're doing cat-cow and yoga, just think of that nice all fours. So the hands are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips, and your knees are hip distance apart. And the aim here is you're lowering your chest to the floor, then lifting back up, or coming as close as you can, okay? So it's not a lower of the head, which I see quite often, it's the chest and a lift. Option number 2, you bring your knees together, but you take them a little further back and you drop your bum. So you have this nice kind of pencil line of your body, and then you drop your chest down and lift. Again, it's not lowering your head, it's bringing your tits to floor, lifting back up, excuse the vulgarity. Or number 3, you're up on all fours, nice and strong in a high plank position, and then you press down and you press back up. Okay, so those are your press-up options. We are going to do 8 press-ups with one of our legs in the air. Then we're going to hold it halfway down, which is going to be a challenge. We're going to be halfway holding, and we're going to tap and lift our leg. If it is too much, you're going to straighten your arms. Oh, I'm whacking my javelin. And you're going to tap and lift, and then we're going to combine the 2 to finish. So, press-ups, choose your press-up position. We're going to do 8. We're going to, hang on. Forget everything I just said about position number 2. In this particular one, you have to be in position number 1. You're going to take your right leg up into the air, or you're in a full press, okay, with your right leg in the air. And we're going to press and lift. Press and lift. So think about lowering your chest to the floor and lift. You're using the strength of your core to press back up. You've got 4 and lift, 3 and lift, 2 and lift, last 1 and lift. Hold halfway, then you're going to tap and lift that right leg. Tap and lift, really working these triceps. Lift, tap and lift. For 4, lift, 3, lift, 2, lift, 1, lift. Straighten the arms. We're going to combine. We're going to press, lift, tap, lift, press, up, tap the leg, lift, press, up, tap, lift, press, up, tap and lift. For 4, up, tap and lift, and 3, up, tap and lift. Last 2, up, tap and lift. Last 1, up, tap and lift. Good. Just knees together, push your bottom back to your heels, reach your arms out. Just to stretch them, lift up onto your fingertips, turn your hands into claws, so your fingers, so your hands and your arms are off the mat, and just feel that nice stretch in the shoulders. And then lifting up and out, and we're going to do the other side, and then we're going to come onto our backs to finish with a little ab finisher. So, exactly the same thing, but this time our left leg is lifting up. So remember, you can do this in a full press with that leg in the air. That was an amazing demonstration. Maybe I should have demoed that before we'd done the 16 press-ups on the other side. Otherwise, you're on your knees. We're going to press and lift, 2, 3. So I like to use my breath on that hard push up. Really go with your body, use your breath, it's a wonderful tool and it's free. One more and hold. Lower to halfway if you can, working those triceps. Then tap and lift, tap and lift, tap, lift, tap, lift. Oh, the burn. 4, my arms, 3, 2, and 1. Good, straighten the arms for a second, then you're combining those two to finish. Press, lift, tap the leg, nice and high. Press, lift, tap and lift. Press, up, tap, lift, press, up, tap and lift. For 4, up, tap and lift. 3, up, tap and lift. 2, up, tap and lift. Last time. Up, tap and lift. Good. Okay. Bring yourself down, slide off your bands. We're done with the bands. We have an ab finisher. We'll only have time to do it once through. That's the good news. So you're just coming down onto your mat. Onto your backs. So, if you can, you're going to lift up onto your elbows. If you're doing this, try and avoid this. The temptation when you're on your elbows is to just go, ugh, and sink down into them. You don't want to do that. You want to press up and away. Try to keep your chin lifted if you can, although some people do feel it in their necks, in which case you can tuck your chin slightly. If it gets too much up in this position, just bring yourself down and onto your backs to do the moves. You also always have the option, you can take your hands under your lower bum, and that just helps keep this back in a tilted position, which helps the abs be recruited more easily. Okay, so lifting up, taking your toes, pointing them up towards the sky. Feel this engagement in the abs straight away. Then we're going to lower the right leg and lift. Then we're going to lower left and lift. And right and lift and left and lift. 8, lift, 7, lift. So imagine you're zipping your toes up at the top. 5, last 4, last 3, last 2, last 1. You're going to double time, so it comes into more scissor action. So you're going to switch to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That's halfway. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. From there, bring your arms down. Take your arms up and overhead, and then you're going to sit up and you're going to reach up towards your opposite ankle with your hand and then come back down. So you can have your hands out by side you or up overhead, whichever you prefer. I'm going to have to do it beside me because of my plant in the way. So you're going to lift and reach, back down. Lift and reach, back down. So you aim to get at least the opposite shoulder clean off the floor as you're reaching that ankle. Down, up, and down. So if it's too much, you can just do a reach with bent knees here. Lift and lift. Keep going. Up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, just hold one side. You're going to go 8, same side. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Change sides for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. To finish it all, take both legs long, arm overhead, and you're going to sit up, reach for those toes, come all the way back. We're going to do 4 of these. If that's too much, reach the hands up to the tops of the knees, lower back down, arms overhead. Otherwise, all the way up, over the toes, slowly roll down. Try not to hit your plant. 1 more. Up, roll, and down, and down. Okay, that is it. Those abs should be a little bit fiery there. Hug the knees in towards your chest. That is your half hour of sculpt done. So that was our slowing it down somewhat, working into those deeper layers. Friday morning, 8 AM is blast. That is fast-paced cardio bar. Haven't decided yet whether we'll need the bands. You probably won't need the bar. We'll just be freestanding, moving across our mats. Okay, take the legs, take the feet, place them down on the mat. Take your right leg up into the air, hold behind the hamstring, draw that leg in towards you, and then you're just going to point and flex your toes. Well, I'm quite glad I decided to leave my shower for after the class. So let me know how you got on. If you did it live, if you enjoyed it, if you did it on catch up. Let me know if you also swell in the heat like me. Keep that foot flexed, take it down over the opposite knee. Pushing this top knee down and away, and lifting that bottom leg, holding around the hamstring, or the front of the shin if you're able. And you should feel a lovely release in those glutes. So we worked our bums and our waists. Am I allowed to complain about the heat just once more? How humid! Okay, releasing out. Right foot down, left leg up into the air, holding behind the hamstring. Then we're going to point and flex those toes. Okay, leave that foot flexed. Take it down over the opposite knee. Lift that knee up, hold around the back of the hamstring, draw the knee in. Good, and release. Take the hands behind the knees. Doing a few rocks and rolls if that feels good. I love this. It makes me feel like a child. Ooh. Otherwise, just coming up to a seated position. Take your legs long, keeping a slight bend in the knees. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, extend, and then lower your chest towards your thighs. Then let the head and hands drop. A couple of breaths here. You don't have to have your knees locked out. And then slide the hands up, cross your legs, bring yourself onto all fours, coming back to that position, tucking your toes, pushing your bum up towards the sky so you're in a nice down dog, and then either walking your hands to your feet or taking little steps with your feet up to your hands, hanging there in forward fold for a breath before rolling up, slightly overrun. I find it very difficult to do half-hour workouts. At the top, interlace the fingers, push them up to the sky, make yourself lovely and tall. And then lean one way just to ease out these waists. I bet there's going to be demand for pancakes now. Back to the sky, lean the other way. Back up, release, give yourselves a clap. Well done.